Welcome to your daily Mars weather bulletin, where we first check in on the surface rovers before diving into the three-sol forecast. Perseverance operates at Jezero Crater, where on Sol 1955 of the mission it drove 9.4 meters, bringing its total odometer to 44.98 kilometers, and that update is already 4 days old, with no newer drive published. The climatological model estimates today's weather at Jezero Crater with a high of -25 degrees, a low of -75 degrees, winds at 77 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1. Yesterday, NASA published Perseverance's Mastcam-Z view of the dark silhouette of Phobos slipping across the Sun on Sol 1948, and the animation has been tinted to show what an astronaut would see through eclipse glasses. Scientists say the new transit will help refine the Moon's orbit and its long-term drift toward Mars. The rover has been recording such events since its 2021 landing in Jezero Crater. Curiosity operates at Gale Crater, where on Sol 4994 of the mission it drove 32.0 meters, bringing its total odometer to 38.12 kilometers. The climatological model estimates today's weather at Gale Crater with a high of -28 degrees, a low of -74 degrees, winds at 53 kilometers per hour, pressure at 8.9 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.86. Curiosity provides this Mastcam photo from Gale Crater, taken on Sol 4994 of the mission. Rome was last confirmed at Utopia Planitia, where the last published traverse record puts it at 1.92 kilometers in total on Sol 347 of the mission, and no later movement has been reported. The climatological model estimates today's weather at Utopia Planitia with a high of -46 degrees, a low of -80 degrees, winds at 106 kilometers per hour, pressure at 9 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.25. InSight's mission ended at Elysium Planitia, and as a stationary lander it never drove, so it has no traverse distance and no odometer at all. The climatological model estimates today's weather at Elysium Planitia with a high of -27 degrees, a low of -76 degrees, winds at 52 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.99. On Sol 634, daytime highs average -31 degrees, with the warmest reading of -22 at Olympus Mons. Very dusty skies dominate, with dust optical depth peaking at 1.25 over the rover-site. Winds peak at 106 kilometers per hour at the rover-site. Overnight lows average -78 degrees, reaching a coldest -97 at Olympus Mons. Temperatures gradually warm slightly while dust optical depth decreases, indicating a trend toward clearer skies and slightly less intense wind peaks across the later sols. At the rover-site, pressure is 7.7 millibars, visibility is 3 kilometers, and water vapor is 9.7 micrometers. The 5-sol trend shows temperatures stabilizing around -30 degrees, with decreasing dust optical depth. We now turn to the crossings of Deimos and Phobos across the disk of Mars. Deimos makes its first crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 54 minutes. In Los Angeles, the crossing happens between 6:34 in the morning and 7:28 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there. In New York, it occurs between 9:34 in the morning and 10:28 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there. And in London, the crossing runs from 2:34 in the afternoon to 3:28 in the afternoon, with Mars above the horizon there. Phobos makes its first crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 52 minutes. In Los Angeles, the crossing happens between 9:34 in the morning and 10:26 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there, while in New York, It occurs between 12:34 in the afternoon and 1:26 in the afternoon, with Mars above the horizon there, and in London, Mars is below the horizon. Phobos makes its next crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 51 minutes. In London, the crossing happens between 1:14 in the morning and 2:05 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there, while in Los Angeles and New York, Mars is below the horizon. Phobos makes its next crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 52 minutes. In New York, the crossing happens between 3:53 in the morning and 4:45 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there, while in London, it occurs between 8:53 in the morning and 9:45 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there, and in Los Angeles, Mars is below the horizon. Mars is currently in the constellation Gemini. For observers in New York, Mars rises at 1:52 in the morning and sets at 4:58 in the afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to Mars Weather. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.